I mean, let's bring this back to the your music. And
that's what I'd like to do. That's cool.
I mean, when you were there, you were inspired, and you wrote a lot of songs while you were there.
I did,
and that became the first record you released upon your release back in Canada.
That's right.
In '96.
That's right.
Let's pull that up.
Yeah, it's called Hourglass.
Hourglass, and we're going to let Steve give me the nod when he's got a good picture of that. Still available at jerrygriffinmusic.com and on CD Baby. A little plug there.
Yeah, thank you.
Some of the songs were inspired by your experience. Maybe all of them were inspired.
I have 3 albums I've completed now,
yeah.
3 CDs, and all of them have some representation of that time period in my life.
And I mean, it's some of the I mean, we're going to ask you to play one of the songs.
Sure.
What song might you like to pick off of the record to play for us?
I have to look at Heather and ask her.
Heather, what do you think?
What do you think? What do you think? Hourglass or Chasing the Dragon? Well, Chasing the Dragon's on 2 of the records because it's about heroin abuse.
Yeah. And
it's an anti-heroin song. And I have it on both my CDs because I had 2 different versions of it. It meant a lot to me, that song, in that I had a really good friend over there in prison in Morocco. And we used to call him Kitami because he was from the town of Katama, which is like the hash capital of the world.
Right.
And Kitami he was Kitami Mohammed. He was one of the many people with the... So Kitami was the leader of the cell block I was in.
Yeah.
And when he left, he and I became really good friends. And when he left the prison, I inherited the leadership of my cell block from him.
Right.
And he was a pretty hard case. I mean, and he'd been a heroin addict all his life, since he was a young boy. And he was about my age at the time, in our 40s, And he'd not done heroin for the entire 11-month period that he'd been in prison. And he was about to get out, and I said, "Oh, it's so good, Kitami." Like, we used to talk in Spanish, I said, "It's so good that you're clean, from heroin, limpieza, like you're clean, man. You don't have to do that anymore, That is just so cool, you can be with your family, your kids, and your wife, and everything will be good, And he said, "No." He said, "No." He said, "You don't understand." He said, "My life, when I get to the street, I'll be doing heroin again for sure. There's no way I won't be doing heroin again." I said, "You don't have to. Why would you? You're clean, man.
Yeah.
You won't go." They call it going pongo mono. I go mono. I go monkey.
Right.
When they're jonesing off the drug.
Right.
And anyway, 2 weeks after he got out, we got word in prison he died of an overdose. He was a really good guy. He was a really good friend. So that song, Chasing the Dragon, that's what they call it, smoking it,
Right.
Smoking the heroin. Yeah, but what it actually is chasing the first high that you ever achieved, which you never get again, and you keep doing it more and more and more. You're chasing the dragon. Anyway, he died, and that was I didn't like that. It struck me really badly. So I wrote that song, and it's for him and another little dude I knew, Miguel, who was just a drooling junkie all the time. It's like on the nod constantly, and we used to actually have laid bets on when like it says in the song, a silver string of drool, when the head would lean over like this on the top bunk, and there'd be this string of drool would start to come down, and there'd be a guy down below, and we'd make bet to see when it was going to, within how many seconds it was going to fall and hit the guy on the head that was down below, and little Miguel would be up there all coming apart, just nodding out on the stuff. He was just pathetic. He was a good little dude, though, and his family had money on the street, and they used to get heroin brought in for him and stuff, so he could just stay like that the whole time he was there. I mean, it wasn't really, it's not funny after a while. It's like, wow. Like, I saw one kid put in there, he wasn't even shaving when they he hadn't shaved yet, this kid, and they put him in there, and for stealing a handful of peanuts out of a bowl, walking down the street past a cafe and taking some peanuts like that. He was doing a year. And when that kid went in there, he'd never touched a drug in his life. And when he left a year later, he was a full-blown junkie. Like, there's really a lot of heroin addiction there. It's like, it's crazy. It's like alcohol here or something.
Well, let's hear that.
Chasing the Dragon.
Chasing the Dragon.
You bet. No problem.
So now, dragging scares away the pain, takes him where he's from. Silver string of drool hangs from his mouth and chin. Jagged tail floats from the foil, creeps into his brain. Plays its magic ruthlessly. Blocks out the view, mostly kills the pain. Once more he's caught the dragon, once more it takes the reins. Time and time and time and time and time and time again, he's chasing the dragon. On the street he says he'll